Aggiornamento 3i Atlas dal professore loeb, altre 12 anomalie. Ti lascio il video delle dichiarazioni tradotto in italiano. Fammi sapere nei commenti cosa ne pensi.
We want to bring back in live Professor Avi Loeb tonight, renowned theoretical physicist, Harvard professor, head of the Galileo Project. Professor Loeb, always good to see you. And, first, Professor, you've also been calling on NASA to release the image. The government is back open. No image. What do you make of this?
Well, thanks for having me. I was told by two sources that, in fact, NASA plans to release those images in a few days, in the middle of next week. So let's just keep our fingers crossed, because these should be the highest resolution images, and also they should be from the side of those outflows. That will give us much more information, because 3i Atlas passed within 29 million kilometers from Mars when the images were taken back on October 2nd to 3rd. And that offered an unusual opportunity to get a high-resolution view of it. The case that was made is that they required some processing these images, and therefore they could not have been made public during the government shutdown. I prefer to believe that storyline than any conspiracy theories at this time.
Okay, so the new images of 3i Atlas seem to show the tail is back. What is the significance? What do you make of this?
Well, actually, we don't just see a tail. In the latest images, we see of all the 7 jets coming from the surface of the central object, some of them towards the sun, some of them away from the sun. What surprises me is that they are tightly collimated, and that is surprising because the object is rotating. The last time we checked, it has a rotation period of only 16 hours, and the length of these jets is 1 million kilometers. You would expect that the material making up these jets had to go across that distance over a period of a month, given the typical speed of outflows from comets. And during a month, it would have been smeared by the rotation of the object. So then the question is, what is going on? One possibility is that it's only the pockets of ice facing the sun that are getting warmed up, but we see jets going on the opposite direction, away from the sun. Another possibility is that perhaps the object broke up, and what we see is the trail of material from the fragments flying out. But the problem is that we got the latest image, and it looks like a single object in the middle. So we don't know what is going on. Of course, it's possible also that these are thrusters from a technological object that are used to maneuver or navigate. And obviously, in that case, they will maintain their orientation. So the verdict is still out, and I'm very much looking forward to getting more data in the coming weeks. That's the way science should be done. It's like a detective story. And any of my colleagues who claims to know that it's a comet of a type that is familiar to us, is not really curious or imaginative.
Well,
about
let me ask
nature.
you more about that. Last week we spoke with Dr. Michio Kaku. He gave his input on the object when asked if there were any indications it could be alien in nature. Let's listen to his reply.
I think it's non-zero, but it's very small. So far, it looks like an ordinary comet. It behaves like an ordinary comet. And except for these a few anomalies, it does act like an ordinary comet.
What is your response to him tonight?
Well, I listed this morning 12 anomalies associated with the object, and anyone that wants to see them, they are on medium.com, the latest essay. And I suggest that whoever says this is a familiar comet would write a paper explaining all of these anomalies.
Yeah, Professor Loeb, we're almost out of time, but I was reading this article right before our show tonight. Of the 12 anomalies, which one stands out to you the most as the most compelling that this could be extraterrestrial in nature?
Well, it's the fact that it's lined up with the plane of the planets from the beginning. And it's also a very big object, much more than we expected, because the previous ones were 1 million times less massive. Both of these are fundamentally difficult to explain out. So I'm saying let's wait and check what this object is in the coming weeks rather than give the verdict already now.
I hear it. Professor Avi Loeb, it's always a pleasure for me to see you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.